Hello everybody, Phantom Car here, and I finally started getting my first step into the Pokemon Challenge run scene. And what better way to start than with a run of a really underloved Pokemon? Today we answer the question, can I beat Pokemon Platinum with only one Phione? Phione is going to be quite the challenge to use. Stat-wise, it's not awful, base 80 across the board is nice. What is going to be the real weakness is that in Gen 4, the level up moveset is absolutely empty if I want anything other than water-type moves. And the TM selection is only slightly expanded, but even that's not great. Especially with two of the major gym leaders being super effective against me. This type coverage is going to be awful. Phione is also part of the slow EXP group, meaning grinding in the early game is going to take quite a while. For these types of videos, I'll be writing the script as I go through the challenge, so everything here has been put down before I've started. Actually, leave a comment if you think we'll be able to win this one. I think I can win, but I know for a fact that we're going to have some points where we get hard-walled and have to grind.
Now let's go over the rules. In battles, I am only allowed to use Phione. I may need other Pokemon for HMs, but I'm not allowed to use them in battle. No glitches or exploits. No items in battle, only held items and Pokeballs. Items outside of battle are okay. And with all that said and done, let's get into the run.
Right off the bat, I use the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Piplup with Phione. That way we can use her the whole run. I replaced Piplup, that way it gives our rival Torterra in the end, a really bulky grass type, so I figured that was going to be the hardest for us to fight. We named our Phione Kraken because I think it's hilarious, and get the return TM from Lucas and the run starts here. I did a little bit of grinding before the first rival fight because there was no way I was going to be trying that fight until at least level 10. I am glad I taught Phione return early, so at least we can hit grass types for neutral damage. By the end of the run, Return will be a 102 power normal move after we hit max friendship. Now at level 10, here are our stats. Not great by any means, but let's give the first fight with our rival a shot and let's see how that goes. The rival fight went about as slow as I expected. Turtwig having withdrawal and raising its defenses, making Return less and less powerful was not helpful. But I still think that was faster than if we were spamming Bubble the whole time. But I don't think not very effective normal moves or the 20 base power Bubble will make the Rock Gym any easier. Hopefully we don't have to grind all the way to level 24 to learn Bubble Beam before Rourke. At level 12 we take our first shot at the Rock Gym, we hit level 13 in the process and things are looking great. We even make it to his final Pokemon, Cranidos, but before Onix goes down he hits us with a Screech, harshly lowering our defenses. So in just 2 headbutts, Cranidos takes us out. I think the roll to not beat Onix was a damage roll, so I went right back into it and tried again. To my surprise, I was right! The very next attempt we leveled up after Geodude again. Onix had gone for Rock Throw instead of Screech, so we weren't at risk of being taken out in 2 hits by the Cranidos. I know it sounds silly because we're using a water type, but I was really worried that fight was going to be a lot harder than it was. But I'm not going to hold my breath, because the next gym is a grass gym, and that's going to be slow. The next fight is the Commander Mars fight, and I've got a feeling that things are starting to get easier from here. It seems like I have enough effort value points that my 20 power Bubble has actually been doing a fair bit of work. First try against the Commander Mars didn't go too well. I think Bubble being such a low power move is really hurting us, but I'm going to grind some more and try again each level and see if we just need a little bit more damage. I don't think Return is at the point where it'll be doing more than Bubble. Wow, that is a sentence I didn't think I'd ever have to say. Attempt number 2 at level 18 is ruined from the start. Zubat lands Toxic right away and puts us on a timer. And against Perugly, I do try and use Return, and I realize I very much underestimated how the friendship was with Phione. That did a whole lot more than I expected, and I'm going to try again using Return from the start, and we're going to see how that goes. Attempt number 3 goes better from the start. We one-shot Zubat with Return, so we go into the Perugly fight at full health. Perugly hits us with a fake out to have us waste a turn, but after that it's just 3 hits with Return and the fat cat goes down. Sorry Chris Pratt, no more lasagna for you today. Up next is Eterna Forest. We're automatically healed here between battles, so I take a bit of time to grind here with the free heals. The Grass Gym is next and we still have just Bubble for our stab move. I wish we had access to the Ice Beam attack, but that's not going to open up for us until we get to Veilstone Game Corner. So for now we're just going to have to try and brute force the fight. And while grinding we hit level 24 and learn Bubble Beam. An all around better move than Bubble. Now instead of the base 20 power we have base 65 power. I think we now have about all I want from Phione's level up moveset. There is Rain Dance at level 69, but I think I might have access to the TM sooner than that. So from here on, our moveset upgrades will probably be coming in the form of TMs and tutor moves. Now on to the grass gym. I don't have high hopes, but I at least want to give it a shot. So, I was using Bubble Beam to avoid Turtwig using Reflect, but I think the trainer AI saw that my special attack was higher, so it didn't actually go for it. Turtwig and Cherim both got me low, but they healed with super potions. I honestly think I had a shot at that, as long as I can get into the Roserade fight with a bit higher health. Attempt number 2 went poorly for a different reason. This time Turtwig did set up Reflect, and I got hit with Leech Seed from Cherim, so I was on a timer. I think I'm going to need to grind up at least another level for those small little stat boosts. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and grind and try after each level, and we'll see where everything lines up for this battle. Alright, attempt number 6, we actually make it. Funny enough, on an attempt where I forgot to heal before going in, so I had gone straight from grinding. Turtwig got Reflect up so Return's power was weakened, but the Reflect faded before Roserade came out. All I had to do was live one Magical Leaf because she had gone for Stun Spore, and I took it, taking out Roserade with another Return to get the badge. We also got the Grass Knot TM, so we can use that, and it's a special move, so that may come in handy against the Steel Gym. Up next is Jupiter and the Galactic Hideout. Still riding the high of the Grass Gym victory, I'm running right there to take on Jupiter. I think the Commander fights may be one of the easiest parts of this challenge. Speaking of that, Jupiter goes down on the first attempt. Zubat is down in one Bubble Beam, and another gets Skuntank to use its Citrus Berry. 2 more and the victory's ours. I think we may have passed the hardest part in the run, so we may have some smooth sailing from here. Up next is the Ghost Gym, meaning I can't lean on Return being a 102 power move for this fight. I don't quite know if that'll be an issue, but I'm willing to try and see if not. And surprisingly, it's an incredibly easy fight. Duskull goes down in 2 Bubble Beams, Miss Magius lands a Magical Leaf, and after Gardenia I was worried about a crit, but Miss Magius went down super easy as well. Haunter goes down in 1 Bubble Beam to end the fight. We're honestly on a roll, but up next is the rival fight. We take out Staravia right away, but Grotle then takes us out. I don't have anything other than Return to hit Grassmith, so we may just need to grind. Or so I thought. Coming in for round 2, we take Staravia out in 1 shot with Bubble Beam. Up next is Grotle, who gets a nasty critical hit on Razor Leaf, bringing us down to low health, but 2 Bubble Beams take it out for me. After that, Dweezil goes down with 2 returns, and Ponyta with 1 Bubble Beam. That had the potential to go a lot worse than it did, and we could have been at that fight for ages. While we're traveling to the next gym, I do want to start thinking about what I want my moveset to be when we finalize it. Ice Beam for sure, it's just a matter of doing some slots and Veilstone to get that. Looking at the tutor move, the only thing that's really catching my eye is Signal Beam, but having bug coverage isn't super versatile. After the water gym we get Surf, and that'll be staying on my moveset. A 95 power special water move? That may be it. Running Ice Beam, Surf, Toxic, and Rain Dance? That way, as long as we set up Rain Dance, we can heal for free if we decide to switch Toxic for Rest. The last 2 slots will probably change quite a bit between now and the Elite 4. Once we get to Veilstone, I beeline it for the department store and grab the Blizzard TM. That way we do have some ice moves while we go do slots to get coins. And after a while of fighting all the trainers I could leading up, I had just enough to get a copy of Ice Beam. The Game Corner also has Rest, so I want to keep that in mind. We teach Phione Ice Beam over Charm, because Acid Armor may have some use, so I want to hang on to it for a little more. But now that we have Ice Beam, let's give the Fighting Gym a shot. On our first attempt I try to play it out, using Acid Armor to raise up our defenses against Meditite, that way I know I don't have to worry about it too much. I don't have the Shell Belt or Leftovers yet, so I still don't have a held item, so passive healing isn't an option. Up next, she goes into her Ace Lucario, but at this point I'm at max defense, so the Drain Punches aren't doing much. After 3 Bubble Beams, Lucario is down, and she is just left with Machoke, who goes down in 2 Bubble Beams. And after landing just a critical hit on us, and getting a Speed Drop with Rock Tomb. On my way to the Water Gym, I am realizing I'm at a point where this is becoming less of a challenge, since I had to grind so much to get past Gardenia and to get Ice Beam. So now on my way to Pastoria, I avoid as many trainers as I can, both to save them for later grinding, but to also try and lower the level lead I have against some of the important fights. And right away I prove my point with the rival fight. Staravia goes down in 1 Ice Beam, Grotto goes down in a critical Ice Beam, Ponyta is down in a single Ice Beam, and Dweezil is down in 2 hits from Return. Our levels were close, but that battle felt nowhere near close. Let's see if the Water Gym's more of a challenge. Now, with Crash Awake, I feel the challenge coming back. I spent so long going back and forth with Giratina that I feel like setting up acid armor is smart. By the time I end that fight, I'm just too low to finish off Floatzel, who takes me out pretty quick. I think I can do this, so I'm just going to go right back in and try again. Attempt number 2 goes great. I start with 3 acid armors against Gyarados, and I can take it down slowly with Ice Beam in return. Quagsire goes down in 2 Bubble Beams. And finally, the Ace Floatzel comes out. After some back and forth and a Hyper Potion, I get lucky with a Freeze, a 10% chance on Ice Beam. And with Floatzel frozen, I am able to just take it out with a few returns for the badge. And now that we're able to use Surf outside of battle, I'm not too interested in anything that gives us access to it at this stage, but we do have the Cyrus fight coming up. I'm not too worried, he's not really a threat until the final fight in the Distortion world. And I was right! Sneasel went down in 2 Bubble Beams, Golbat to 1 Ice Beam, and Murkrow to 1 Ice Beam as well. Cyrus really isn't going to be challenging for quite some time, but after the fight we get the Surf HM, and that is going to replace Bubble Beam. It's got 30 more power, and is one of the HMs that are great to have in battle. We actually get to test that out in the next rival fight. Starting with the Staraptor Intimidates, a return isn't quite as effective, but the more and more into the run I'm getting, the less and less I've been relying on it. Staraptor goes down in 1 Surf, Torterra in 1 Ice Beam, Rapidash in 1 Surf, Heracross lives the Surf because I forgot Ice is super effective against Bug, and Floatzel goes down in a few Ice Beams. I really am just wondering when that brick wall is going to come. I feel it coming, but even with dodging trainers, I'm still not really struggling anymore. But we can check back in after a few paragraphs, see if I'm still feeling this confident. Up next, we had an oddly close call in the Steel Gym. Magneton goes down in 1 Surf, as does Steelix, and right when I'm thinking this will be a one-shot sweep with Surf, Bastiodon survives on what can only be like 4 health and hits me down below half with Stone Edge. I was hit with Taunt, so I had to swap to Ice Beam that was resisted before one final Surf took out Bastiodon. And up next we get to go ahead and sightsee. We have to go to the lakes and beat the commanders, who really aren't much of a challenge. And after that we just head up to the Ice Gym. The commanders, we know the same song and dance, especially now. They're one-shot sweeps, so I'm not even going to bother showing you them. But while we are on our way to the Ice Gym, I will think about how we're going to take that on. There is no freeze dry in this generation, so that keeps me safe from being hit super effective. But ice types are oddly fast, and if I remember right, the Ice Gym has some evasion tactics we'll have to deal with. On our way to Snow Point, we get the Nevermelt Ice, a held item that boosts the power of ice moves, so that'll make up for us not getting the same type attack bonus on Ice Beam. But that probably isn't going to be helpful during the Ice Gym. Phione took quite a beating on the way here, so I think I may struggle with this gym a bit. During the gym puzzle, we hit level 50, so I think now's a good time to take a look at our stats. Being a Pokemon that comes from a mythical is really helping out here, but I feel like as far as our moves go, we may only have some minor room for improvement here. I also haven't taken advantage of the ability once this run. Healing status conditions in the rain sounds perfect for Rest and Rain Dance. Maybe that ends up being on the final moveset. Rest, Rain Dance, Surf, Ice Beam? That could work pretty well. Anyway, on to the Ice Leader, and I really can't remember her name. If you can, comment down below because it's right on the tip of my tongue. First try goes not great. I realize I should probably try and get my defenses up with Sneasel because Abomasnow has Wood Hammer. And once I set up my Acid Armor, Sneasel did not only get a critical hit, bypassing my setup, but also switched into Abomasnow, who brought the Hail, instantly putting me on a timer. Attempt number 2 is only a little better. I take out Sneasel with some more health and manage to fully take out Abomasnow, who somehow did not miss a single Focus Blast, the most missable move in Pokemon. But the Hail and me having no way to keep my HP up is really going to bite me here. I'm really going to do some looking around and see if I can either get the Shell Bell or Rain Dance. I know Rest is in the Veilstone game corner, so I'm going to try and come again once I've got some form of recovery and see if that helps. After getting the Shell Bell and another dozen attempts, we finally get one where we make it. Sneasel wastes one of the Hyper Potions, then on what can only be a few HP, it switches to Abomasnow, who gets us below half health. Frostlass is out next, who not only has Snow Cloak, an ability that raises evasion in the hail, but also goes for Double Team. We're sitting in the red, barely hanging on after every hit, until Piloswine comes out and we can one-shot it with Surf and get a good amount of HP out of it. Lastly out is Sneasel, who's low. Candace uses a full restore on it to keep it around, and I get it low again, finally taking it out and getting the Ice Badge. Up next is storming the Galactic Headquarters, meaning we're getting close to the end of the run. We have to clear it out and beat Cyrus, then climb a mountain and fight some of the commanders, then to the Distortion world with the hardest Cyrus fight. and one that is the longest to get back to after grinding, so hopefully we don't struggle too much there. Going over the easier Cyrus fight first, it was just as easy as you'd expect. Sneasel took a few surfs to take out, and Crobat and Honchkrow fought a 1 Ice Beam apiece. And on top of Spear Pillar, we had the double battle with our rival, and it was just a surf and Ice Beam spam as everything slowly went down one by one. Up next is the hard Cyrus fight. I really am hoping we can take this out on our first try because grinding between attempts will be rough, and I only have 3 rare candies that I've found so far. So grinding will mean a trip through the Distortion World again. Surprisingly, the Cyrus fight was a lot easier than I expected. Houndoom went down in 1 surf. Out next was Gyarados, who went down with 2 Ice Beams due to a lucky crit on the second one. Out next was Honchkrow, and that was 1 Ice Beam and it was down. But out next was Weavile, who hits us with a Fake Out for a small bit of damage, then got us with Night Slash, but went down in 2 surfs. And finally Crobat, who got us into yellow with Cross Poison, and then was taken out by a single Ice Beam. Alright, now we're in the home stretch. Electric Gym is next, then we have the Elite Four and Champion. I'm feeling good after that Cyrus fight, so we're just going to go straight into the fight with Volkner. The first fight doesn't go too well. Jolteon paralyzes us first turn, so not only are we slower the whole fight, we have a chance to just not move at all. We go into the fight with Raichu at about half, but thanks to paralysis we end up missing a turn, and we take Raichu out with only about 6 HP remaining. Luxray outspeeds us and takes us out with a Thunder Fang, and we lose the first attempt. That's fine, I didn't expect it to be a one-shot sweep, so let's come back after a few levels and see if that helps. 10 levels and 26 attempts later, and I just had to show this run. I realized that Return is a damage roll to one-shot the Jolteon as well as Raichu, but due to paralysis, I let them get too many hits off. Luxray flinches me with Thunder Fang, and we're down. After another 5 attempts, I decide to put a berry on so Jolteon can't paralyze us anymore. And turns out that's all it takes. 2 hits from Return take out Jolteon, and we get lucky with a damage roll on Raichu. Luxray is out next, who gets us almost half with Thunder Fang, and finally comes out Electivire. The first time I've gotten this far in the fight. I go for Ice Beam because I want to try and get the freeze, but he hits us with Thunder Punch, bringing us to 68 HP. And 1 more Ice Beam, we take him out and get the Electric Badge. Man, what was I saying earlier about feeling unstoppable? All we have next is the rival fight as well as the Elite Four and Champions. Last chance to comment and see if you think we can win this. I think I have a few minor alterations I want to make to the moveset before we try and wrap this run up. So, at level 71, here are our stats before the rival fight. We have what I think may be our moveset, at least for now. I've got a few TMs on standby for changing things up. If things get dicey, I have Grass Knot to replace Return, and I made sure to grab the Rain Dance and Rest TMs in case Aqua Ring healing isn't quite doing it for me. And surprisingly, we were able to take our rival out on the first try. Ice Beam was great coverage for the rivals team. It took the Staraptor down as well as Torterra in one piece. Then on the special wall Snorlax, we have the best luck and get the 10% freeze chance, followed immediately by the worst luck and get the turn 1 thaw out. After that, Heracross goes down to 2 Ice Beams, and then Rapidash goes down to a single Surf. On to the Elite Four, let's power through them and wrap this up here. First up is Bug Trainer Aaron, who, to no surprise, is a one-shot sweep with Ice Beam. Scizor does live one and manage to get a hit in, but 2 of the Elite Four members are weak to water and ice, and they're the first 2. So we're going into Bertha, the ground trainer, without healing. Not because I'm confident, I just forgot it. Bertha has Sandstorm, so I spend my time first turn setting up Aqua Ring so I can get some health back. I take my time so the Sandstorm can subside, taking out Gliscor in a single Ice Beam and Golem in a single Surf. Rhyperior goes down just the same, and all that's left is a Powdon, who, to no one's surprise, goes down in just 1 Surf. Now that the 2 I have a type advantage with are down, let's see how things go with Psychic Trainer Lucian. I also remember to put the Never Melt Ice back on Kraken, so we get a little bonus to Ice Beam. So Psychic Trainer Lucian was not the next one. In fact, it was the 3rd one-shot sweep in the form of Fire Trainer Flint. Everything went down to just 1 Surf each. I mean, it worked with Bertha, and it worked again for Flint. Nothing even lasted more than 1 hit from Surf, so we got by totally unscathed. Anyway, now onto Psychic Trainer Lucian, who managed to actually take us out. Mr. Mime starts with Light Screen, so our special moves are doing less damage, then gets a few good hits in with Thunderbolt. Alakazam comes out and I try to get an Aqua Ring up to hang on, but I go down to 2 Energy Balls. Well, that was rough, but let's just run back here really quickly and try attempt number 2 at Lucian. We get pretty close. Mr. Mime wastes the first turn using Reflect, and we get Aqua Ring up on turn 1. Then we get the freeze on Mr. Mime, so we didn't go into the Alakazam fight under half. Alakazam gets us low with 2 energy balls, but we are able to take it out. Up next is Gallade, who gets us to 2 HP from using Leaf Blade, and then we faint. But we get about a level between attempts at Lucian, so let's just keep making runs and see when we get past it. About 6 runs later, and this is a run I just have to show because it was far too close for comfort. Mr. Mime again starts with Reflect, so I try for the one-shot with Surf. That doesn't quite get it, so Light Screen goes up. I take the fight with Mr. Mime slow because I want to go into Alakazam with at least the Reflect down. And I time it perfectly. Alakazam goes out, and I hit it with Return because of its low defenses. Alakazam gets us below half with Energy Ball, but we get back up with Aqua Ring. Gallade is nearly a 2-shot with Surf, but Leaf Blade takes us to 17 HP. We outspeed it and take it out with another Surf, going into Bronzong. 1 Surf is almost all we need, but it survives and takes us down to 5 HP with Psychic. Lucian uses a full restore, and we almost take out Bronzong, giving us another turn of Aqua Ring. Bronzong goes down, and we get a single level before Espeon comes out. We get so close to taking Espeon out, and then we're taken out. That one was so close it hurt. Finally, after another several runs and a break to go pick up the Mystic Water, we're back at Lucian. Mr. Mime spends the first turn going for Reflect while I set up Aqua Ring. Then we take it out in 1 Surf. Alakazam is out next, who also goes down in 1 Surf. Then Gallade comes out and does manage to live a Surf and hit us pretty hard for about a third with Leaf Blade. 1 more Surf is enough to take it out. Bronzong goes down in a single Surf thanks to a critical hit, because every time we didn't get a critical hit, Bronzong lived. Finally out is Espeon, who goes down in 1 Surf, leaving only 1 more fight and the final roadblock ahead of us. Finally, we end on the Pokemon Champion Cynthia. Up first is Spiritomb, so I'll be setting up Aqua Ring to make sure we get some health back throughout the fight. Better safe than sorry. We get hit for a small bit with Shadow Ball, but 1 Surf is surprisingly enough to take out Spiritomb. Roserade goes down to 1 Ice Beam. Out next is Togekiss. 1 Ice Beam comes close, but we get hit with Shockwave. After Cynthia burns one of her full restores on Togekiss, we land another Ice Beam to take it out. Out next we have a Garchomp who is 4 times weak to Ice, who goes down in 1 Ice Beam, and we're back at full. Lucario is a simple one-shot Surf to knock it out, and last out is Milotic, an incredibly bulky mon. I start with Ice Beam trying to get the freeze, but Milotic has Mirror Coat, a move that does more damage if we hit them with a special move. But I have enough health to keep going. Once Milotic is 1 Ice Beam from being knocked out, the second full restore comes out. I'm still fishing for the Ice Beam freeze, but we get hit with Mirror Coat, taking us down to 66 health. And then I have to click return so Mirror Coat can fail. And we have a turn to recover, and after 1 more return, Milotic is down. Honestly, that was an insanely fun run, and I really wasn't expecting it to be as fun as it was. Most gyms only took us 1 try, but there were some that for sure I didn't expect to be as hard as they were. I think that's a good blend for challenge and fun. I can certainly see myself bringing Phione to some other games and seeing how they fare. Next week, we'll have another challenge video coming out on Tuesday, and we'll be taking on Pokemon Black with only 1 Druddigon. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe, as these challenge runs take quite a bit of time to make, and leave some suggestions for some other challenge runs in the comment or on Twitter. Alright, outro time. So, this was an insanely fun run. We're now at the point where I'm basically going off script and just kind of talking. I really want to keep this quick because as I'm recording this, peek behind the curtains, it is the day before Thanksgiving. So I'm recording these a fair bit in advance. I am really excited to get into these. I've got quite a few lined up, and hopefully I get them all scheduled in the proper order. But it's been fun. I've actually started the Druddigon run, and it is more challenging than I expected it to be. I was thinking, we're a single stage dragon, it's gonna be easy. But I don't know. I don't think I was prepared for what was coming. But for you guys to see how that run goes, you'll have to just check back next week. I am going to wrap this up because tomorrow is Thanksgiving, and I do want to get some rest beforehand. But yeah, I think that's about everything. Like always, links are in the description for Discord, Twitch, and Twitter. Feel free to leave me a follow on any of those. And if you end up joining the Discord, let me know YouTube sent you. If I get enough traction for it, I will definitely make somewhere in Discord designated for suggestion challenge runs. It will be a lot of fun, and I would love to hang out with you guys. Who knows? Maybe next time we'll have like a grinding montage chat in the next video. Who knows? But this has been Phantom Aramkara, and have a good rest of your day.